For nearly 10 years, I believed my life was stable, secure, and untouchable. Mark and I had been married for 9 years, and to the outside world, everything appeared flawless. We had a warm home, financial stability, and above all, our daughter Sophie, whose smile lit up every corner of my world. But over time, the comfort began to feel like a cage. What once gave me peace started to suffocate me. I longed for something else, a rush, a spark, a reminder that I was still young and alive. That's when Jenna returned to my life. Jenna had always been wild, unpredictable. The type of friend who could turn the ordinary into an adventure. She filled my head with ideas of freedom, fun, and breaking out of the dullness. And I listened. I wanted to believe I wasn't just a wife and mother. I wanted to be Lisa again, the exciting one. At first, it felt harmless. Nights out with Jenna, too many drinks, laughter that carried into the early morning. I flirted here and there, enjoying the attention, convincing myself it didn't matter. But then, one night, pushed by alcohol and Jenna's reckless encouragement, I crossed a line I could never take back. A man I barely knew bought me drinks, whispered the right words, and before I realized it, I followed him to his hotel room. I told myself it was just one time, a mistake I could bury. Jenna promised to keep it secret, even joked about it in our messages. That night, I came home to Mark, who looked at me with a tenderness I no longer deserved. He knew something was wrong. I saw it in his eyes. Still, I brushed him off. When he asked about my late nights, I laughed, dismissing his worry as jealousy. "You're being ridiculous," I'd say with a smirk, pretending his concern was nothing more than insecurity. I thought I was clever, untouchable. What I forgot was who my husband really was. Mark had always been calm, methodical, sharper than most realized. When the truth finally surfaced, it wasn't because I confessed, it was because he already had proof. One evening, he set his phone on the table, his face unreadable. My stomach dropped when I saw the screen. Messages between Jenna and me, arranging that reckless night. Photos too, ones Jenna had sent, laughing about what I'd done. He had uncovered everything through the cloud backup I didn't even know synced. He didn't scream. He didn't curse. He didn't give me the drama I expected. His voice was steady and final. "I know what you did, Lisa. We're finished." And then he left. Keys in hand, he walked out, leaving me frozen in the silence of our home. I panicked when he ignored my calls. It hit me too late. This wasn't a warning. This was the end. From that moment, everything unraveled quickly. Mark moved in with his brother and immediately contacted a lawyer. Every step was precise. He had the hotel receipt, the screenshots, even bank statements proving my betrayal. He froze our accounts, moved his savings, and left me with nothing. At first, I was furious, blaming Jenna for leading me down this path. But when I confronted her, she only shrugged. "It's not my fault you got caught," she said, cold and dismissive. After that, she distanced herself, twisting the story to our friends, painting herself as the innocent while I became the villain. Meanwhile, Mark quietly let the truth spread. People knew. The way they looked at me changed, some with pity, others with judgment. My so-called exciting life crumbled into shame. Within weeks, Mark filed for divorce on the grounds of infidelity. He asked for full custody of Sophie. With the evidence stacked against me, I had no defense. I saw my daughter only on weekends, and each visit broke me apart. She was confused, hurting, and though she never said it aloud, her eyes told me everything. She was disappointed. How could I explain to her that I had chosen a meaningless thrill over the family that should have meant everything? Therapy became my only outlet. Session after session, I tried to understand why I had thrown everything away. Yes, Jenna had influenced me, but in the end, the choices were mine. I laughed at Mark when he tried to protect what we had. I dismissed his love as weakness. Now I bore the consequences. The months after were a blur of emptiness and regret. I moved into a small, cramped apartment, a shadow of the life I once believed was permanent. I worked endless hours at a job I hated just to cover bills and legal fees. Meanwhile, Mark flourished. He kept the house, gave Sophie a steady routine, and rebuilt a life without me. The first time I saw him after the divorce was at a school event. He looked calm, composed, even content. He had regained the peace I had destroyed. By then, he was already dating someone new. The sight hollowed me, but I couldn't say a word. Once I tried to apologize. I whispered it to him quietly. His response was distant, almost formal. "I hope you find what you're looking for, Lisa." And just like that, he walked away, just as he had the night he left me. Those words still echo in my mind. I once mocked him, belittled his jealousy, and underestimated his strength. But his silence, his finality, and his refusal to let me back in were more crushing than any anger could have been. He revealed the truth and left me to face the ruin I had created. Now every day is a reminder of what I've lost, not just a husband, but a partner, a life, and the respect of the little girl who deserved so much more. I'm trying to rebuild, to become someone worthy of being called her mother again. But no matter how far I come, I live with the echo of my own laughter. The laughter that mocked the man who once only wanted to love me.